All right, things are really starting to wrap up. This is the second to last day here in the push-pull squat challenge. And today we're gonna be focusing on one of my all-time favorite exercises to really blast the hell out of your quads. Of course, that means today we are talking about none other than the Sissy squat, one of the best ways to blast your quads because it's essentially just a very big range of motion for body weight leg extensions. And in the last two videos, I talked about how keeping your back and your scapula stable and strong is the key to getting more emphasis in your biceps and triceps while saving your elbows. And the same principle holds true here as well. Only instead of keeping your shoulders locked, which we do want to have our back somewhat tense for stability, it's all about the hips, because the hips are essentially like your shoulders and your scapula for your lower body. So whenever I'm teaching the Sissy squat, I always recommend start in the bottom position. Put your knees near or just above the floor, kind of at an angle if you prefer. Have something you can hold on to more for balance. You don't want to feel like you're pushing yourself up against an object because that's just taking work away from your legs. But the trick is to keep your hips extended. So my glutes and my hamstrings are working similar to what we talked about earlier about really engaging the glutes harder for hip extensions and squats, and really feeling like we're not so much straightening the legs as we come up, but we're trying to drive the hips up and forward as much as possible. Because if I'm doing a squat and my hips come back even a little bit, that makes the exercise a heck of a lot easier. Sure, an easier variation means you get more reps or you can lift more weight, but the goal is not reps or weight. The goal is tension in the muscles. So come forward, get yourself back, really extend your hips, and make that a really hard exercise on your quads and make them really suffer. You could even go so far as to say that the Sissy squat is a really good hip isometric exercise because of all the stability and isometric contraction you have in your glutes and your hamstrings, which not only places a lot more emphasis on working your quads, it takes all of the stress and sucks it right out of your knees. And again, we're using about a 6 to 8 repetition range for this isolation or single joint exercise, followed immediately by a compound movement. And I recommend using a bilateral exercise for this. So either have something like goblet squats or jump squats will be a very good way to really fry out those quads, getting about 12 to 15 repetitions and then resting after that until you can get another round. Perform as many rounds as your legs can possibly stand until you start to feel like you're really burning out your quads, and then you're done for the day. Here's the first two videos for round 6. This one's about building up your biceps, and this one's about building up your triceps for bigger overall arms with each of those. Let me know if you have further questions down below. Be fit and live free.